Heard one person say, love will make the way for peace and equality. This encourages me. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my brother, for you. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood bleeds red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my sister, for you.
Yeah, we're thinking globally, we're acting locally. Want somebody, tell me what it is. Yo, practice like that does not bend, but if you bend your mind, you just might find a friend.
Find a friend. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood bleeds red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my brother, for you. What is color? What is race? Sweet love. Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my sister, for you.
Until I saw one day that you were stringing me along, playing me for a fool. You used me once too much, I'm in so much pain. Here I am again. Trust is a hard thing to come by these days. You build me up to let me down, got me spinning around. I wish I knew where you were coming from. You told me you loved me, I thought I was your only one. Seems like I'm always going through changes, living in confusion. Changes, living in confusion, confusion. Oh, oh. I had faith in you, just knew you wouldn't hurt me, but you played a game. Should be ashamed, and I let my guard down. I was so vulnerable. I hope you had your fun. Don't you know I was loyal to you? Truth is a hard thing to come by these days. You build me up to break me down. I knew where you were coming living in confusion, confusion, confusion.
afternoon. From her little patio, gazing at the sky, clouds are moving as the treetops sway. Hummingbird of springtime, home in our garden, loves the fragrant blossoms of the climbing jasmine. And a lemon tree, green fruit everywhere. Flowers bring the nectar that he needs. When he comes in the early spring, so full of color, plumage ranging from bright shining green into a flash of blue. In the blink of an eye, he's a blur across my vision, softly humming as he moves along. Hummingbird of springtime, now you are leaving, flying to the warmth of Central America. May those warm winds carry you to where everything is blooming. Will you find the sweetness that your life needs? Through the autumn and the winter, as the winds of change will bring the rains that give this place new life. Through it all, I await the springtime breeze, here in a garden where the hummingbird calls home. Hummingbird of springtime, now you are leaving, flying to the warmth of Central America. May those warm winds carry you to where everything is blooming. Will you find the sweetness that your life needs?
Know what I've heard about it, and it looks like Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Kind of stuff.
Hummingbird of springtime.
What's happening, y'all? It's Will the Thrill from Wilfred Ninja Frelix. Unity featuring the Queen.
U-N-I-T-Y, that's a unity.
right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Indie Live Spot right here on GHP Radio. We're streaming live right here on YouTube, and very, very excited about today because we have a wonderful, wonderful guest today. And in fact, you can see him as right now on the screen right there, along with everybody else here. And so, everybody, just help me welcome our guest, Wayne Gutshall.
Welcome, Wayne. Welcome, Wayne.
Welcome to the show, sir.
And Gary, we have a wonderful grist too.
Great to be here with you guys. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it all week, and it's gonna be fun. I could tell just from hanging out before the show.
Absolutely. Well, welcome, sir. We're very excited about having you on today, and your music is wonderful. Of course, we're going to definitely get into that a little bit later, but we definitely want to introduce you to ourselves and ourselves to you and our listeners and everything. So, again, thank you for hanging out with us today. We really do appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, of course, now you're new to us, so in fact, or to me, now Grizz actually set up the interview for this week, and really happy about that. And of course, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? Because I know for a fact that after listening, of course, you're a mean man on that saxophone. You can play that thing, so we know you got that going on, along with, I'm sure, a lot of things. So just kind of give us a little small background about yourself.
A little background. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. You mean like when I started out in music?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, somewhat, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that, when I watched some of the other interviews, and it makes you think, at different points in your life, there's different things that happen. I know when I was a little kid, my dad always used to play this music, like classic 70s type of style music, like Strawberry Letter 22.
Oh, yeah.
Led Zeppelin, The Doors, like a big mix of all sorts. And during that time, I also heard, that smooth jazz at that time was not on the radio stations, but it started coming out like Chuck Mangione and Herb Alpert.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing, and that was the first time I heard some jazz music on the. I was just a little kid. Then you flash forward to middle school or junior high, and I remember this kid. I'll never forget his name. English class, Miss McCartney's class, and he brought in an alto saxophone. He opened up the case, and I'm like, wow, that I gotta check that out. I gotta play that, So went to I joined band in middle school, and I said, well, I want to play saxophone. And the guy says, well, everybody wants to play saxophone. The band director, he's like, we don't have enough right now. I looked up at the poster and I said, well, that thing looks like a saxophone. What's that? It was bass clarinet. So I actually started on bass clarinet. And then later in high school, I went to clarinet. And then finally, this kid in the jazz band, I had an independent study class. I was practicing clarinet. And this kid got the chicken pox. And the band director, he knew already because he started me on tenor sax already in one of the second band. And he said, hey, you want to play in the main jazz band? I'm like, yeah. And after that, my life changed for the better.
Wow.
All right. That's interesting. It's amazing because I saw in your bio that you also teach. You've been on the college level and on the public school. I think it's high school. Right?
Actually, I teach elementary.
Elementary, okay. And
I did teach college 7 years at Miami-Dade College. I was the professor for saxophone at Miami-Dade College, and I did a few classes like music appreciation and those type of classes.
Okay. So what is it like starting kids out in music in elementary school? What is that like? Do you? I know with my kids what it was like because they come home. Well, my teacher said I don't have a saxophone embouchure or a trumpet embouchure. Did you tell your kids that?
Yeah, I mean, in elementary school, really what they play, it's, believe it or not, I actually direct choir.
Oh, okay.
And they also have recorder, which is, you know, leads up to middle school. In Miami, what they do is they have them go ahead and play the real instruments. You know what I mean? Like saxophone, that in middle school.
Trumpet.
And then bells. So those are the three things. But they're very eager to learn, and I have a really good group. My school's really big. I mean, right now we're teaching remotely because of the COVID thing, and just thank God in Jesus' name, you know, for that. I have a job. I know a lot of musicians in Miami right now that it's thankful for what I have. Just thankful in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen to that.
You know, the stuff, the radio's really taken off. You know, I even talked to my principal, and she's very, very supportive. You know, and I know Jasmine Gent, she's on your show. I was like, Jasmine, how are you like swinging, doing all this stuff?
Yeah.
And, so, she decided, it looks like I don't know if she's teaching anymore. I think I saw that on your show. But for teaching, but you know, as things take off, I could see a point where I would just be playing totally. I mean, there was a point where I was only playing at times, and then when I got married, I decided, well, I could do both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a challenge. So I see you started off on clarinet, and what is it, bass clarinet? You started on?
Yeah, I started on bass clarinet. I really don't play it anymore. I do have a clarinet, but really, I don't tell too many band directors they're gonna stick me on the clarinet. You know.
You know, it's funny you said that.
So what's wrong with the clarinet?
It's not like the saxophone. It's just not. I played clarinet for years. I mean, tell them. It's just different.
It is different, isn't it?
Everybody says that clarinet is harder, and it really is true because after playing clarinet, when I went to go play saxophone, saxophone just, by the grace of God, it's easy for me. It just feels so easy, especially compared to the clarinet. So I know what you're saying there, Joyce.
Yeah, it is. It was an easy transition for me and it was by default for me in senior year. We only had about 40 kids in the band, and I said, well, this is not bad. And then the sound, it's more soulful. It's more, you know, interesting. So it was an easy transition for me. Yeah, you know, had more passion in it.
Yeah.
And less keys.
You play saxophone too, right, Joyce?
Yes, I do. Saxophone. Saxophone and flute. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chris. But I still love the clarinet, don't get me wrong, but it's something about the timbre of the saxophone that, I don't know, it was so soulful to me when I started playing it, and I never wanted to go back. I did buy a clarinet, and then I sold it. Well, I bought it used, and then I just said, you know what, let me just sell it. I have other things I could do with the money. I'm not going to play this.
I still have my clarinet because sometimes I get called, when I do get called for shows in Miami, they do want you to play, you know, doubles, you know, flute and clarinet. So I do have both of them. And especially in Miami, flute is really highly in demand. Like when you do a salsa music and Spanish style, Latin style music uses a lot of flute. So I do play that also.
You know, you and Gris had interesting conversation about the Latin influence, but Gris has a little more knowledge about the people you've played with. I'd love to hear you guys do that dialogue again. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Go for it, Gris.
Before we came on the air with you guys, Wayne and I were talking because on his bio it has a list of people that he's performed with, he worked with, and I was asking because he was on the show that is very big in the Latin community. Excuse me, it's called Sábado Gigante, which is big, like the Big Saturday or Super Saturday kind of idea. And this show encompasses, It's a game show, it's a variety show, it's a talk show, it's everything combined on this one show. It's like a mega show. So Wayne was involved with, you said, for 7 years? Is that how long you were with the show?
I got a story for that, I'll tell you.
So anyway, we were talking about some of the people that he's worked with, and because of that, and being that he lives in Miami, his music has that Latin influence in it. So, and that's what I was, loving about that. But go ahead and tell a story about Sábado Gigante, and then we'll get into the people that you worked with.
Yeah.
This leads right into an important part of my life, which is a big influence on me, which is one of my mentors, Mr. Kaye. I don't know if you know him, but he is one of the best saxophone players, in my opinion, ever, hands down. And in the world, in the world overall, he's one of the
Okay,
top.
Wayne, I'm sorry, because you got cut out on the name of the mentor. Can you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ed Kaye.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Am I coming through clear?
Yeah, you're fine.
It's not you. We'll talk about it.
But it broke up right when you said the name, but go ahead.
For those of you who don't really know him, he's the original saxophone player for Miami Sound Machine, and he came to my high school, and my band director was the original trumpet player for Miami Sound Machine. So even Gloria Stefan came one day, and they brought in like conga. They wanted us to hear it, and they were like, "What do you think of this?" Like before it came out radio.
It came out. Oh my God.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I love that.
I'm sorry. Can you tell we're fans? Miami Sound Machine.
Ed Kaye played with them, and when I heard him play, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's what the saxophone really sounds like." And it just blew my mind, and I knew, man, I got to do that. I got to be like that. And then when I went to college, we became friends. He was my professor, and leading to Sábado Gigante. Okay, this is how the TV show happened. Sábado Gigante is almost like The Price is Right, kind of in Latin America. And when I was at University of Miami studying, a lot of times he couldn't make the show. He would be touring all over Europe in the summer, so he'd be like, "Hey man, can you cover the TV show for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm there, man. I am there."
You were so there.
I would tell my professors at UM, I was like, "Hey man, I really want to be a performer. Can I just miss class this day?" And and they would let me miss. And in the summer, I covered like the whole show over several years. Like I would cover the whole summer if he would go on a summer tour, or sometimes he'd have me come in. It was mainly his gig, but really Ed Kaye started introducing me to that, and that led to like bigger things. Eventually, I was getting called for these big gigs, and I had to tell him, Ed, I can't do it. Now things started taking off for me by the grace of God. In his name, amen.
Yeah.
Amen. So do you play in church too? Hello?
Yes, I do it now, but in Miami, the numbers.
Uh-oh.
He's freezing.
Oh, it's freezing up.
Yeah, it's freezing.
I'm doing that.
Okay, could you repeat the last thing you said? Because you were freezing.
Oh, I wonder, if I touch my screen, will it show me how much radar I got in here? Let me check. I hope this do it.
Radar.
I love that. How much radar?
All right.
So what was that question again?
I think where did we leave off, you guys? You said amen, and I said, do you play in church too? But I think you had gone on to another conversation, and I don't remember. But do you play in church too?
Yes, I do play in church, and I play. It's a Catholic church. It's called a charismatic Catholic church. It's a lot like a Protestant church. And I play at the 5:30 mass, and we have a good time. We have like a little, rock band or whatever you want to call it, pop group. And so they let me, cut loose in there, but I try not to go too crazy. And I play flute too in church.
Well, we know the flute is acceptable. It's just the saxophone. I remember when I graduated from college, it was like, now what do I do? Churches don't want saxophones. They think that's an instrument of the devil. You know, your flute, maybe, of course, keyboard, organ, or whatever. But now it's different. You know, after coming back of 20 years of not playing at all, I realized people were more open to the saxophone. You know, so
Yeah.
You're not going to be hired on the staff as a saxophone player, not in my experience, but I do get booked for church functions. So it's all good. But I'm glad to hear that, especially in the Catholic Church, that they have something like this.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I also belong to a group that's called the Emmaus Brothers. It's a great group. Actually, I think it was started by a Protestant that brought that to the Catholic. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like a retreat, and so it's, you know, it's a blessing that I get to do music, and I got to give back. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, so how many recordings have you done in the years?
How many albums?
Oh, you mean like studios?
Yeah, how many
I'm sorry.
albums?
Oh, you mean? To be honest with you, right now, this album you guys got, that's my first one that's on radio, because I didn't even know radio and all that. Just started learning. I have recorded some other things with artists that are, you know, like in the Latin world, you know, for Sony and for Warner Brothers.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. So it's Spicy. Spicy is your debut CD?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And actually, the song "Hello" is the final single that's going to be released from there. And then my second CD will come out next year, in the beginning of the year, around February or March.
Okay.
Cool. Now, which artists that you were on? Because right now I can't remember that you were on, that you recorded with, or like on their album, that won the Grammy, the Latin Grammy.
Okay, that's Ed Kaye again. Because
Okay.
when I started, you know, I told him, hey Ed, you know, if I get good at this thing, make sure you call me for some gigs. And he did, and I was very fortunate to get the call to play on his CD, and it won a Latin Grammy Award. We actually beat out Kenny. We actually beat out Kenny G and Chick Corea. I was like,
Wow.
Man.
you know,
That's
now,
huge.
Wow. Those
Especially
are
Chick.
like big leagues right there, those two. Wow.
the one who
So-
won the Grammy
one who
is
won?
Ed Kaye, but just to be honest, honor.
Okay.
Mm.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, that's a huge
Yeah, I was gonna say
accomplishment.
I was gonna say, did you get a piece of the action off of that? It was the main thing.
Well, I mean,
My name is on it.
I'm talking about dollars and cents.
I know you are.
taking care of me, you know, so I the least I could do is play on his CD. And actually, that CD, if you check it out, it has about 100 of you know, some of the best musicians in Miami. And by the grace of God, I'm thankful they called me to be on there. But I think Arturo Sandoval is on there.
Mm, really?
At the time, he lived in Miami. Now he moved to Los Angeles, I believe.
Wow.
Do you remember who else was on there?
Oh boy, there's some local guys that are on there. There's a guy named Lee Levin who is president of the Grammy Association down here. He's almost like a Steve Gadd type of drummer. And the big name, you know, people that are on there, I'd have to review it.
Okay. You've slept since, right?
I'm not on the whole CD. I'm just on one song on there, but it really
Enough.
helped me out. That's all I can say. And Ed has been very cool about it as far as letting me, you know, it helps out with promotion. You know how.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine, back in the day, I saw them live in the football stadium, and I'm telling you, that horn section was the best. It was clean. Gloria was fantastic. What a great group. I know we get older and we start slowing down, but I wish they had not. To me,
Slow down.
I still want to see them. I still want to see them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they need. actually for the CD Spicy where I recorded it, the engineer, there's my engineer's named Dorian Reyes, but his partner in that studio is Gloria Estefan's musical director. And this is what I'm saying. Actually, they went back now and they started to do like a Broadway version of her life. So hopefully she'll come out and she'll start doing some stuff. You know, that I was just fortunate to I didn't play with her in the Miami Sound Machine, but I did get to play with her not with her directly, but with Willie Chirino. We played at the opening of her restaurant in Disney World. That was, you know,
very cool.
And what about how?
From those guys, you know, it was a big influence on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about how was the connection to be able to play with Olga Tañón?
Oh, Olga Tañón. Oh, that was from Sábado Gigante, that one.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. What happened was, you know, there was a big flood in South America, and there was like a charitable foundation that did a concert, and all these artists came. Even what's his name? Enrique Iglesias came. Now he didn't want to use the backup band; he wanted to use a track. No offense, but Olga Tañón wanted a real band, so we played with her. And on that particular thing, there were so many artists. Sometimes there was a track, sometimes we played, sometimes they blended it, you know.
Yeah.
And what about Maria Conchita Alonso?
Oh, that's really my first big gig before Willie Chirino.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was my first time I ever played with anybody who's famous, and I had seen her in The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger and with Robin Williams in Moscow on the Hudson.
Yeah.
And and they called me, and I'm like, wow, really? You know, so that was really a cool gig. And then Willie Chirino, and I didn't know who Willie Chirino was at that time either, but, you know, now I know who he is. Then he called me, and I was playing with both of them at the same time, you know.
Awesome.
That
And
is
that
cool.
just snowballing, you know, just started snowballing. Like what's happening now with my jazz career, I mean, just thankful.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more as far as from the list of people that I want to touch on. You also have worked with Paul Brown, Nathan East, Steve Oliver. Is Steve Oliver, because on the Spicy song, there's some vocals on there, and it kind of reminds me like a Steve Oliver kind of vocal part thing that he does, because he doesn't actually sing words. He does all these cool sounds and stuff, and that's what it reminded me of when I heard Spicy.
Yeah, I mean,
Part of that he influenced that somehow.
oh, actually, I met him after that.
Oh, okay.
But the way that part came up, I heard it like I thought it was a keyboard part when I heard it. But then when we were in the studio, I told the keyboard player, no, that's supposed to be a vocal part. And I called in my, I called in my friend Luis Shapiro. He lives in LA, and he came in, and Carmen Medina, and they laid that. I thought also it'd be nice to have some vocals so that people that are not used to jazz, it'll draw them in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And Oliver, I just got to play with him at Sandy Shore's Jazz Weekender, and I met him, and he's going to be on the next CD. Him,
Awesome.
two special guests for the next CD.
Sweet.
Awesome.
That is gonna be nice. Wow.
That is.
Actually, just called who I called this week. That's going to be on the next CD. Kim Scott on flute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be great right there.
Yeah, it would be.
Excellent.
Woo.
Excellent.
Well, I'll tell
When
you
I-
what. Let's
go
take
ahead,
let's take a music break and go ahead and feature some music from
Yes.
our guest here. In fact, I want to go ahead and let's go ahead and do the Spicy track, of course. And
That's the first one that was on the radio. Right.
What?
That's the first one that got on radio.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you kind of introduce it for us as far as who's all on it with you?
Okay, all right, yeah. There's a lot of people on it. I actually wrote this down so I don't mess it up.
So you don't forget anyone.
On Spicy, the keyboard player is Felix Gomez. He used to play with Arturo Sandoval actually when he first came to him. Gabby Vivas on bass. Gabby Vivas, you know Yanni. He moved to New Jersey. He's now playing with Yanni. And like I said, Luis Shapiro, Carmen Medina are the vocalists. George Garcia on guitar. And Dorian, that's on a different track. Ivan Zervagon on percussion. And there, for the drums, I have used these Peter Erskine drum loops, but I actually had to give him credit because he's really playing on there. So it's Peter Erskine on drums.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Very cool.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, let's let our listeners check it out, and then, of course, we might sneak one more in there afterward, and then when we come back, we'll talk to Wayne and ask him about that as well. So everybody get ready and listen, and we'll everybody keep it locked right here, and we'll be right back here on the Indie Live spot with Wayne Gutshall right here.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Now that track there you just heard was called El Gato, and then right before that, we played the Spicy, and of course now both tracks was wonderful. All of the music's great. We're gonna play some more here in a little bit, but Wayne, wow, tell us a little bit about El Gato too.
Well, El Gato's the second tune on radio off of my CD, Spicy. And, thank God El Gato actually went to #1 on smoothjazz.com's world listener chart. And El Gato, for me, is the first song that went on one of the Billboard charts, which I'm excited. That's called The Most Added. El Gato is like a very relaxing tune. I knew in the studio when we recorded it that was going to be a hit because all the musicians, they made a face when they had to play it, and I was like, "What's wrong?" Hot shots, a bunch of hot shots, but it was like a real mellow tune, and I said, I got a feeling that this is really gonna go over good with the audience of listeners, and I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Now, El Gato, translate that.
Oh, El Gato, that song also is a dedication to one of my favorite saxophone players of all time, Gato Barbieri, And, I play tenor sax too. Actually, on the next CD, I have a song, I'm excited about it. It's called The Kiss. And it's on tenor sax, and it has that vibe, of Gato. But so El Gato, it's a tribute. It means the cat, and it's a tribute to Gato Barbieri.
Okay, I was wondering because I'm sorry, on the sideline I'm doing things because I have another screen, and I said El Gato means the cat. I'm gonna know what you mean by that, so I'm glad about that. Now Gris knows. I need a translator.
Me too.
Okay. So do you speak both languages, Spanish and English?
Habla un poquito de español, señora.
Okay. Just a little bit. Okay.
Spanish, when I was touring with some of the Latin pop stars I played with, they with Willie Chirino, they used to tell me, "Hey Wayne, when we get over to this city, we're not helping you translate." Believe it or not, that really helped me to learn Spanish quick. So I know a little bit. I know how to order food, definitely.
That's a good one to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell them I'm still learning how to speak English. I don't know if I can learn another language.
Same here.
But I want to learn, to be honest. If there were other, the second language I'd like to know is Spanish. The third is French.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I grew up in South Louisiana. I should have picked up on that Cajun French stuff. It's not exactly the same, but at least it's something. But both my parents could speak it fluently.
You know what music has a lot of French in it, Joyce?
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of this style called compa?
No.
That's there's this band I used to play with called Dadu Pascara Magnum Band, and it's like a Haitian style. It's really, really and they also use French dialect in their music. It's called compa. It's awesome.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I didn't appreciate the value of learning more than one language growing up. And I think when I got on Facebook about 10, 11 years ago and started meeting people all over the world, and I had Facebook friends that could speak 3 to 5 languages. And I said, I think maybe in this country we've been a little too, prideful about it. But to have, because one Facebook friend, he was Italian, he sent me a private message, and I replied, "What?" He said, "Oh, I was just speaking to a German friend, and I'm sorry I spoke to you in German." Then he went to, and I thought that was just so cool that he could speak German, he could speak French, he could speak English, and that means I could travel the world and never be lost in terms of asking, I need some help. So Gris speaks 2 languages. I think she's the only one in our group that can speak more than one language. I think that's great.
I mean, it's definitely a good thing. I mean, I need to work on my Spanish more, but the little bit that I do know,
So do I, actually. I need to work on my Spanish too.
Goes a long way.
But you're still a lot better than I am, Gris.
I'm still still understand it perfectly. I just can't, speak what I need to say because I'm just like, I'm not that fluent anymore since my mom passed away. So, because I'm not constantly speaking it like I used to with her. So it's been several years and I'm like, okay, I'm really losing it here. I can't even think of the words to say in Spanish. I'm like, I'm just way too much in English that I can't code switch in my brain to speak, to think in Spanish. So I was like, oh, I'm losing it.
I would still take what you have. I would still take it and feel blessed to have that much. So, but back to music, we were talking about how you perform with different groups. Have you been performing with your own band or solo? What have you been? Well, I know COVID-19, the pandemic, has slowed everybody down. But before that, and what are you doing now in terms of performance?
Right now, honestly, because of the numbers in Miami, you can't really go out and perform right now. But it's really a blessing in disguise. What I've been doing is finishing writing all the music for the second CD. We're mixing all the music for the second CD, getting all that, and I gotta still go record my parts, but the rhythm section is recorded. And then as far as playing, when we were playing out, I have my own band that we do play live in Miami. Gigs here in Miami, and when there's festivals, the Atlanta Jazz Festival called us. It's the same guy who does the Miami. Actually, he didn't call me. I met him at the Miami Smooth Jazz Festival, and we were supposed to do that, but then because of COVID, that's gonna have to be rescheduled. But I anticipate, by the grace of God, big things coming up in the future. And once, I think jazz festivals are gonna be one of the best places you could go once this stuff starts slowing down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
We're ready.
Joyce, every now and then in Miami, I'll do a single and stuff like that. But I'm trying with, now that I got all the music from the CD, I'm trying to do it at least with a 5-piece, So,
okay. You talked about your band, live band, and there's some pros and cons about this. But I ask almost everybody who comes on the show, because in the last few years, more and more people are playing with tracks or with stems, and for their live shows. There's a live band. How do you feel about that? Have you done that? Have you experienced that personally? Whether you have or not, how do you feel about that?
Oh, wait a minute. Something came up on my screen. Okay. Oh, no. I prefer to play live. Absolutely. Like I said, sometimes in Miami, if people don't have the money for a gig and they need to hire you for a private function, you say, okay, I'll do it with some tracks. But for jazz, it has to be live to me. I don't want to do that with tracks. Very rarely. There was one gig recently that we did where there was we played with a live band. That was with Nathan East and Paul Brown. That was awesome. Live band. And they had like these other smaller groups during the wine stops on there, and that was beautiful. And we did use some tracks on that in that particular situation because it just fit perfectly, and it was a beautiful thing too.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the situation.
When I do a big show, I want to always do it live. Definitely.
But everything is so. We think it's new, but it actually, in terms of jazz, it was, I can't think of his name now. Herbie Hancock. Ooh. When Herbie Hancock started experimenting, what was that, Gary? Probably back in the 70s? It's before Chameleon. What was the popular song he had with robots in the video and everything?
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Rocket.
Yes. And he's he did Chameleon with sync sounds, and I think that's what happens if the audience, even when you're playing live, if you don't have someone with the keyboard with those sounds already, then they will insert the stem, if you will, to carry that sound, and people play on top of it, and then that's great. But and we've talked about this on the show before, how it can be a little nerve-wracking when you have to play, when you travel and you have to play with their house band. And you're hoping that if you do send your stems, that they know how to use them. And secondly, who was it? Patrick Yandale, I think that was on the show, said, you have to be prepared that this is electronics, you guys, just like this show. You have to be prepared. What if it fails? What do you have?
Yeah.
Something wrong. Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it's great. I'm not against it at all. I do solo gigs, like you said, with backing tracks. I call them backing tracks, where the whole band is in a box. And I've done festivals that way, and it worked beautifully. But you still have, there still is I'm always paranoid. The only thing I'm paranoid about is what if my iPad breaks down for whatever reason. Or like one time I was doing a show and it was hot. It was so hot, my iPad shut down, and all I saw across was temperature. And I found out later it meant that it got too hot. But that was not a solo gig. I just had it so I could follow my playlist. And it's a good thing it was a live band. But if I weren't, then I wouldn't be able to perform. So there is that part. So I'm not against either one. It's just we have to understand that just like now, because we're in the pandemic and doing these live stream shows, oh my God, anything can go wrong. You know? Not just for me, but other artists, whether you're A-list artists or what I've seen. There was a Gerald Albright. I was so excited by seeing his show live stream. It started glitching, and he had to stop after like the second or third song or whatever. He had to just turn it off. So and I've seen him before. He's very professional, and that was on his control.
Oh, right. I mean, you know, God forbid that anything would go wrong, but I would say that's just another good reason to go live. You know,
Exactly.
but what you're saying, I mean, if there's certain songs, like I saw Huge Groove, and I love him, and he plays live all the time. But if there's like a track that's very intricate, yeah, you know, it's possible you might need something, you know, part of it to be that way.
Well,
That's when you want your own keyboard player, your MD to be the keyboard player that travels with his board and that has everything in his board, and you're set. Your MD knows your stuff, but some of us, we don't have that luxury. I would love that, but sometimes you don't have that.
Well, when things go wrong, just continue playing and just improvise.
Of course.
You know,
But
and if your equipment fails, just keep on playing.
I've done that. That's all you can do. I was at a festival, and it was you have 30 minutes for the band before you to break down, and then you come in with your band, and even though we all had sound and downbeat, somewhere in the middle of the song, the keyboard player went out, the lead guitar player went out, no drums, and it was just the bass and we were jamming. And then all of a sudden, the keyboard just kicks in real loud because, you know, he was probably trying to say, hey, where's my volume? It was a little chaotic, but I got the audience involved. They said, all right, we got keys, y'all. Hey. So but Mac is right. You just have to keep improvising and figure it out. But if you're a solo actor back, that's kind of hard to do. Like, okay.
Well, you know, if you're playing off a laptop or something like that, like you said, you know, you just saw a screen come by and, you know, because it's overheated, he'll just keep on playing.
Well, I
you know the music.
Yeah, but
you just ain't got nothing to back you up.
Ain't got nothing to back you up. But you know what? I have it on my phone, and I have 2 iPads. Is that paranoia or what?
Oh, that's funny.
Well, are you planning any live streaming shows?
Live streaming shows. Not right at the moment, but yeah, I've been thinking about doing something like that. In fact, I would like to start a whole, you know, sort of like what some of the other artists are doing, like Dave Cause, where he comes up one week, or you know, and he starts a regular show. I mean, right now I'm just trying to finish the stuff for the CD. But once that stuff is recorded, I'm definitely want to start doing that. And you know, just being on the show is exciting. You're like encouraging me to get into it.
Yeah.
When do you expect the next project to be completed? What's the projected date?
Well, I think it'll be completed, you know, by February or March. I mean, you know, ready to go on the air, hopefully by February or March. Hopefully completed. I hope that I can complete it hopefully by January or December, around there, God willing, you know. Because you know how that is. You complete it, but you got the artwork and all that stuff you got to do. that stuff. So as soon as I know all the songs that are going to be on there, I'm going to get the art guy, which I'm very fortunate. My art guy is graphics artist guy is the guy for the Miami Heat. He does their sign.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his name is Manny, and he's a super cool guy. And so I just need to, I need one more song, and once I write it loud, I'll get Manny right on it.
Very cool, very cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
That is awesome. Now, you know, you guys were kind of talking about the live stream thing. You know, a lot of the people that's been, you know, kind of, you know, their schedule's been canceled and everything, so have gone to this streaming thing for, you know, temporarily. But what I was kind of wondering, you know, have y'all seen the streams where you have 4 or 5 band members all together playing simultaneously? I don't know what program that is that they're using, but it seems to be really cool because they're all in sync, and they're playing from, you know, their places. And I noticed that you know, I was kind of watching a couple shows here recently where they've done that, and of course, you know, they inserted it, the recording of it into the show. But I'm just wondering if would that be something that could work as a live tool? You know what I mean? Because for live streaming, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You guys had any information about that, or heard anything about that particular outlet?
I have seen it. I haven't done it.
I think they're using that Zoom to do all of that. That's what I'm thinking.
I think they use 2 programs. One of the programs records the audio, and the other records the video, and then they sync it up. I actually, some of the video footage that I have from stuff that I did, we have different angles. These video guys, they get a program and they line it up with the audio. It's the coolest thing. So I think in the there's some program. That's what I'm trying to learn about too, because in order to do that, you need that.
Yeah.
It's really. Yeah.
Okay.
You're saying 2 separate software programs are needed to do that?
I might be wrong. It's probably at the final point. It's one program. It's a video program, but they put it all together in that one video program, and then bam, you can do it.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen some that, man, when you watch the performance, they're all in sync, and it sounds so good. I mean, it does really, really nice. So that might be something you guys can look into for something like that. But
I plan on it. It's on my things to do list. It's one thing I noticed on Facebook Live. If I say, for instance, we were watching JJ, what's his last name? The last name with 5 syllables. What's his name? JJ, out of New York. Gris, you're muted.
You're muted out. We can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
San Severino.
There you go.
San Severino. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, I was watching and I saw a feature that said, "Ask JJ." I forget the words verbatim, but it was basically I could ask him if I can come on the show with you, and I was afraid to click it because it might go directly. I just wanted to click it to see if it gave you choices. I said, no, I'm not going to click that. So I told my husband, I said, what we need to do, I'm going to go Facebook Live where only I can see it, and I want you to click that feature, and I want to see how that works. And I may invite another musician to do it. Where, you know, when I figured out you can go Facebook Live where only you, and you can designate who you want to see. And so sometimes you need to test these things first before you go live to see how that works. So I'm going to try that soon. And I try to do one live stream concert, you know, just solo, once a month. And I know some musician friends, they do it once a week. Yeah. So just check it out, you guys. See, you know, because there are a lot of independent artists who listen to the show too. That's a feature that, and I'm just afraid to click it. It has to be somebody I know very well. You know.
I was gonna say,
Joyce, don't be scared.
No, I'm not scared. I'm scared.
What was
but anyway.
I'm sorry. Y'all let Wayne was trying to say something.
Yeah, go ahead, Wayne.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say, Joyce, another good thing you can do is you can record it, and live streaming is good, but you can also record it ahead of time, and then release it, and it almost has a similar feel. I've seen some people do it, and that way, you know, you have your choice of your different takes and this and that, you know. But live stream, obviously, yeah, that is exciting, and I think. You need that. I'm pretty sure once you get it all together, you get this one particular video program, and then it lines up all the audio tracks.
Yeah. I've done the other, you know, recording and posted for years. But the live stream, I like engaging people. I finally figured out how to put, you know, all the Cash Apps on. I created a frame through Facebook where they could see it right there. And that worked better because I think my second or third from my second or third I doubled in tips because I adding just that one feature. So I'm growing, in other words, I'm learning. So I'm like Gary. I think I'm going to try to figure that one out, though, Gary. I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
Some things take me a while to figure out, and some I can figure out just like that. But I like that, you know, engaging people because I miss that, Wayne. I miss even when you're live. And I've noticed others. After you finish your song, you go, "Oh, okay." There's nobody to talk to. I can't see you guys. So it's an adjustment.
Of course, we all miss that. I mean, we can't wait to get back to the live concerts. But I'm confident, in Jesus' name, God willing, that hopefully by January or February next year, picking up. And I really, really mean it. I think jazz festivals are the perfect venue, you know, to start going back because people could sit separated. Right. The artists, you know what I mean? It's just. Meantime, we just got to get ready for that, and then doing the live stream. That's a good. You guys are encouraging me, so I'm gonna have to see what I do there.
Yeah, you awesome. Yeah.
I think you should. I think Gary should do it too, but that's just me talking, you know, right, Gary? Yeah. Gary, last name Fuston.
Yeah. So Wayne, I want to ask you about another particular track that I know that's probably was something outside of the Spicy CD. I think there's one track you did send to us. It was called Miles Style. Can you tell us about it? Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, yeah, Miles Style is like I had a tribute to Gato Barbieri. Miles Style is a tribute to Miles Davis. You know, I'm a big Miles Davis fan. John Coltrane, I love John Coltrane. And, you know, I just like how simple Miles plays. You know, when I play soprano, it gives me that kind of vibe, you know, and I just felt, and also, you know, I didn't realize from a radio perspective, when I made my first CD, I had songs on there that are for smooth jazz and some for the straight ahead channels too. But really, I do more jazz fusion, Latin jazz, smooth jazz. And if it's electronic, smooth jazz really is a great genre for you. So the next CD, I'll be totally focusing like on that. But I had Miles Style was like this too, and I figured, man, we could put this on both kind of radio channels. And I think that's why Miles Style's gotten airplay on some different radio stations that do play straight ahead, you know.
Well, I really like it. I'm gonna let our listeners check it out here, and then we'll play some more, and then we'll come right back. So let's do that, listeners. Get ready. This is called Miles Style, and I know you're gonna enjoy it. And then we're gonna come right back. So keep it locked right here on your station, GHP Radio, your indie live spot.
Keep it locked.
awesome music as always.
Yeah,
And,
beautiful.
Yeah, in fact, Wayne, we actually played after Hello. We did the Miles style first, and then we did Hello, and then it bled over into I Still Believe. The one that you were just mentioning, Grizz was asking about who the vocalist was. That was awesome. That sounded nice. Really nice.
Miles Style is my favorite. Miles Style. Your tone is absolutely amazing. Everything was just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Thank you, Joyce. Got two, it's by the grace of God, like I said, in Jesus' name. Got two microphones on the soprano. That's a little trick. So I think that's why you could really hear the tone clear. And on all of them, that's why I go to a good studio too. These guys, they got these Neumann he's got, you know how it is. I'm trying to get my home studio up to that point, step by step.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do that, too. Tell the guy in the studio, I said, I need 2 mics. He said, why? I said, put one here in the front, one at the bottom. And I had already done the alto. And you try not to be a diva. And I wish I had opened up and told him, you're not recording the alto just right. And he listened back. He said, oh, my goodness, that does make a difference. He said, that makes a difference. And I went, yeah. And then he had the nerve to say, I wish I had done that on your alto.
Oh, I got
positioning them differently, more like this as opposed to like this. And I thought, look, I'm spending too much money. We just move on. Just move on. Move on. Oh my goodness. You learn. I learned as I do things. So, but no, you sound great. I love your sound. I love your music. And I can't believe this is your first project with all that talent that you have. Oh my God.
You blush. You're making me blush.
I mean, we have to celebrate one another, don't we? You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Celebrate.
I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, it's by the grace of God. I got to give him all the glory, because, to me, that's what I believe. All your talent comes from him. And we're just, you let it come out.
You're just the vessel.
Just let it come. And I'm just thank God, that you like it and things are just taking off. So thank you so much.
Oh, that will definitely take off. See, if I had a radio station like that would be on top of my list. And you see how different people, because somebody else might have said hello is my number one, or spicy, and I'm like, no, Miles style. You can't please everybody. It's all good, but everybody has their particular favorite for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have a favorite?
The radio people usually, so that's like I said, I didn't know about that when I first went to radio, and they came. I just assumed that the cover tunes would be, because I remember Boney James and those kind of things, especially down in Miami. We had a smooth jazz channel, but there really isn't anything like that anymore. We have XM, but I remember always playing, and Gerald Albright, a lot of different covers. So when I sent it to them, I just thought, the covers would be the first thing they would play. And he's like, the guy told me, we really like Spicy. And I'm like, what do you mean, the CD? And he's like, well, your song, Spicy, we're going to play Spicy. I'm like, my original? Oh, thank God.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, man, serious, man. Thank you. And that worked out to be just spectacular because it starts snowballing,
Right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
But the Miles style, that is original, right?
Yeah, Miles style is original, and Miles style is a real simple tune. I mean, I'm trying to think of it now. I think it's just 4 chords, and it goes over and over again, but it has that vibe of like Miles Davis. And also the drummer in the studio, and I love him, his name is Dorian. I was telling him, Dorian, pretend we are on a gig, but you didn't bring your bass drum, And you know how some drummers do that.
That's good.
Light feel, and he was able to tap that live.
Yeah.
You know what? Thank you for that. I'm going to use that. Because I was trying to, how do you figure out, you're in a small venue and you have an excellent drummer, but the sound system is not up to par. So you need to tell them, bring it down a little bit. What do you mean? I can hear you, but you're supposed to hear me like this, not like this. And I need to hear me, trying to explain that to a drummer one time. But I remember one of the best drummers here in the Dallas area. It's between Jalem and Jamil. And the reason why I heard I'm in a intimate winery type setting, and he was playing with Gabe Meadows. And he was playing drums with intensity, but not with a lot of volume. And when he pointed to him solo, he played the most beautiful solo at a volume that was low. And it was excellent. And that's when I knew that a drummer can play an excellent solo, can be excellent in the background without the bass drum punching hard and slamming the snare or what have you. then when I heard Jalen Washington do that, I said, okay, they can do it. Or it can be done. And so that's why I tell that to say, that's why I said, you know what, that might be a better way to say it, pretend you forgot your bass drum. So,
Well,
but
if you ever listen to Sonny Rollins, he do the same thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The trick to tell the drummers is to use, when they have brushes, they pull it up and there's that plastic part on it.
Mhm.
They could play with the same feel, but like softer.
Mhm.
Right.
It's beautiful, and that way, the singer or won't have to sing so hard. Because let's face it, sometimes you're in a venue where the sound system is not perfect. Your monitor may stop working on you. Anything could happen, and when that happens, you're hoping that people will cooperate and say, "Hey, we need." I think I've seen other people do that, where they have to say, "Hey, can you bring this down?" And most of the time, I have to say, most of the time, everybody's cooperative. And you say shh, and everybody just takes it down. They know, especially on flute. Flute doesn't carry like a saxophone. Okay.
Hey,
Somebody-
Wayne. Yeah, somebody in the chat
Sorry?
room by the name of Natalie said, "Hello, Uncle Wayne. You have a niece?"
Oh, that's my niece, Natalie. Oh,
Yeah.
Natalie. Oh, I'm so proud of her. You know what? She's becoming, she is a doctor now.
Ooh.
Hey.
Oh yeah, she's on the front line. She actually treated patients that have COVID-19, and I'm so proud of her. Hey,
Oh.
Natalie.
Wow.
Bless her heart.
What's her name again? Natalie.
Natalie.
Mhm.
Natalie.
Wow, thank you, Natalie, for doing
Yeah.
that.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Now-
that, be careful yourself.
Of
Yeah,
course
and
you-
now we can say to the people in the front line, "Thank you for your service."
Service.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And be careful.
Yeah.
And
Very
Natalie,
safe.
I always keep the people in the front lines of my prayers. So now I know that I know one particular one by name. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Natalie.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
And I do
Yeah.
wear my mask.
A special mask and everything.
Mhm.
He does it sometimes,
Good.
but I've done it. She has to wear a special mask.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud.
Yeah, that's all right.
I know you are. I know you are. I'm proud of her, and I don't even know her. That is great. To be a doctor, even though I'm not one, and I've never gone to medical school, but I don't have to jump off a cliff to know that it's hard. That'll hurt. So, you know what I mean? There's some things I can look at and go, I tell young kids, I said, I know that that's a prestigious title. It is, but you really need to know about that profession, because for me, you come in with an open wound and I'm passing out already. I can't handle it.
Well, I
That's
look
a
at
tough job.
I look at physicians that they really need to listen to their patients, because you have some doctors don't even pay attention to you at all. Well, this is what's this and that. It doesn't work like that. Listen to your patients, because they the one that know their body the best.
And the doctor was saying, now listen to your doctor too. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to eat that fried chicken every day.
This one doctor I had that he said, "Man, you just need to quit smoking." And I sat back and I looked at him, smelling like cigars himself. He's smoking. Then a dietitian said about, "Mr. McDaniel?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, you need to lose this much weight." I looked at her. She was bigger than me.
Crazy. Oh my goodness.
I ain't gonna sit and tell you.
Right.
It's just like I go to the salon and my hairstylist, her hair might be looking rough, but she's got mine looking good. And that's all I care about, 'cause that's what I paid for.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. It's just like a barber. Cut your hair and looking good, and look over at his hair. Boy, I'm telling you, you need to go see a barber yourself. Same way with a dentist. He'll fix that mouth up, Boy, looking good, your mouth. If you look at his mouth, it's ragged in a can of kraut.
Oh my goodness.
Did you guys see what Henry put in the chat?
No.
Henry's
What?
got
It
it.
says, give Ray a knife in his teeth. He will jump right in and take charge of the situation, Joyce.
What you mean, Joyce? I don't have nothing to do with him. Don't blame that on me. What
Oh.
you mean, Joyce?
Natalie, listen to your patient. Listen to your patient. I have to say, listen to
I
me.
think she's on the front line. We're gonna give her a break. You know, we're giving her a break. We're not gonna let
Just
you
be
go.
safe out there. Just be safe, child. That's all.
Who when he called you child?
What did you say, Wayne?
Let me tell you, she worked hard. I think the schooling just to be for doctors almost like 10 years. I mean, now is when she's finally getting that real experience, and that's invaluable. You know,
Very
I'm very
invaluable.
proud of it.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
This is serious business right here. And
What-
and is this her first experience in terms of practicing medicine? Is being on the front line?
Well, I think actually she got some previous experience, and they train them in different hospitals, and
Okay.
they were
Intern.
doctors. But once you get past that point, they put you into the real thing, and you're the doctor. You know, after you hung around with so many doctors. So
Right.
this is her first. Yeah, it is her first experience. You know, doing it full time. You know, I'm very
Okay.
proud.
Well, you know, I really have to praise him. Now, I had one doctor tell me, I've been practicing medicine for 25 years. And I kind of looked at him and said, you still practice, aren't you? He just stood back and looked at me and said, oh yeah. He's still practicing.
Okay. Natalie said, I just started residency now. Okay. Gotcha, Natalie.
Yeah.
Thank
Alright.
you.
Jackson.
Nice.
Right.
So Wayne, so what do you think about the rest of the year as far as that goes? I mean, I know we got to wait till all this stuff pans out, but did you actually have, before all this came about, did you have some shows that were scheduled and got canceled because of this?
Actually, in Miami in the summer, things are sort of slow down. So I had planned to work on PD in the summer. So the shows that I do have scheduled, actually, there's one now coming up in I think in October, November, and I have New Year's.
Okay.
So it didn't. The only one that may have gotten affected was the Atlanta Jazz Festival. I was waiting to hear back from that guy, but I know they had to cancel it. So that one particular venue did get affected. But I know his name is Cedric. He's great. He also helped run the Miami Smooth Jazz Festival, and I know they'll call me back when it's safe. You know.
Yeah.
That,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think one good thing, if you have a connection with somebody at a venue or a festival, is and I did this and it worked. I just said, hey, I'll just call him John. Hey, John, I'm just reaching out to see how things are going. And he replied back, oh, you know, things are delayed. Not asking him, am I still booked? It was like, how are you doing? And I really did mean that from my heart. It's just staying connected with those people. Because he was somebody that I appreciated that gave me an opportunity to play at a, nice venue in another state. So I said, okay, let me just say, hey, how you doing?
That's a great
I think
gesture.
that's all we can. Yeah. Just right now, just reaching out to people just to stay connected. So. But one thing I wanted to ask you, what is the great thing about performing? You got great skill, great chops, great music. And what's the great thing about teaching? I'm not going to ask which one you prefer. I think that's unfair. I'm just going to ask you, what is the great thing about teaching and what is the great thing about performing?
Joyce, and your audio cut off a little.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try again. Don't move, Mac.
What's the great thing about performing and the great thing about teaching?
About teaching, yes.
Right.
I'm not asking you which one you prefer because I think that's unfair. So I'm asking, what are great things about performing, and then what are the great things about teaching music, because you taught on a college level as well, and elementary and college. So.
I mean, I'll start off with the teaching, and I'll tell you because I didn't really plan on teaching as much as I do teach, but it's very rewarding, especially helping autistic kids and stuff. They really
awesome.
they have they respond so well to music, and it's something like that even like I'm a diehard true performer. And like I said, I didn't think I'd be teaching as much as I am, but that really touches your heart when you see like this autistic kid and you're like, man, I made an impact on this kid, you know? And on the other flip side of it, you know, teaching private lessons and stuff, I've had students of mine that go on and have performed, you know, with famous groups and stuff. And it's just a great, or just that they study music or they start teaching or get into a special like performing arts school. It's very rewarding. That's the great part about teaching, you know. Yeah. And performing, I mean, you know, I love performing. I mean, I was performing before I ever started teaching, you know. And so performing, just the great thing about performing is it's the expression that you could share that with people, and then that you see that you're having an impact. And especially with the recorded music, that is really a trip when the stuff is out on the radio and you got people and fans all over the world. I mean, when I was at the Miami Smooth Jazz Festival, this lady came up to me from Japan, and she was looking at me sort of, my wife was with me, okay? She was looking at me. She was looking at me, and I said, "Oh, do you want to take a picture with me?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I want to take a picture." And it was, you know, that was the first time where somebody went and took a picture with me. And I found out later she's just this very dedicated jazz fan. You have people start coming up to you asking me for your autograph and stuff, and that's sort of cool, you know. I mean, that you know, but the music is the most important thing, hands down, no doubt about it. You know, I mean, I'm talking about compared to. I'm not saying with education. I'm saying, you know, all that other stuff is nice, but the music is the most important. Absolutely.
Well, you got to look at it, John, like if it wasn't for that lady come up to you, it wouldn't be you. You know, your fans is the one that's really support you. If they didn't support you, then what?
But I understand his awkwardness at the same time because he's probably not realizing. Yeah,
that's
humble and not was because it's awkward for me sometimes. You remember I tell you guys about these messages I get, these crazy inbox messages, and I'm going, "Oh, how about us doing this and that?" I'm like, "Well, who are you?" You know, or you post something. Now this is on. I have a profile on Bible Gateway, YouVersion, I think it's called, and I don't go there. And one day I just said, "Oh, I have all these people that want to connect on YouVersion on Bible Gateway." So I accepted 5 or 6 of them. And then one of them comes, "Hello, beautiful." And I'm like, this is Bible Gateway, right? Is this? I didn't know how to take that. I mean, I wouldn't go, let's say we're on Facebook and we become Facebook friends. I wouldn't go and say, "Hello, handsome." I think that's flirtatious. Am I wrong? See, and that's the awkwardness about some things. You don't know if that's what they say to everybody. It might be something he says every day, no matter who you are. He may say that to his mom, his sisters, and anybody. But since I don't know you, and that's what I mean, when you don't know the person, you're trying to figure out the intent of their heart. And sometimes that can be a little awkward. And that's why I ask people, when you're sending me messages, maybe elaborate, or, you know, just pretend. I don't know how to take it because I've been stalked before, cyber stalked. I don't want that.
Hey, I wanted to say back to Ray, I didn't, you know, that was like one of the times, I guess I didn't realize I was starting to get more known in the world. And so it was one of those first times where I had people come up to me and I was like, "Oh, wow, man, this marketing stuff is working."
Yeah. Nice to know something.
Because, you know, like I said, because your fans the one that makes you.
Oh, I agree, but and I'm very thankful to all my fans. I just wanted, I hope that came out the right way.
It did. It did. I was just explaining to Mac how sometimes you don't mean any harm. You just you don't know.
Startled about it. You're like,
well, you know, it's just like It's just like I may say, "Oh, child," That's just something I say.
But I know you.
Don't mean no harm in it.
No,
'Cause
you don't.
no, I don't mean no harm in it. I tell, "Oh, child," I tell anybody, "Oh, child," don't make no difference.
It's yeah. And that's what I mean by that. But you don't know. I know you, Max. So when you said that, I know you're not calling me a child.
Well, maybe he is.
Oh, I'm so offended.
Sometimes I think some of them take it pretty much as a compliment. Oh, well, I'm still a child. Yeah, that's fine.
Go
Too.
ahead, Wayne. Wait, Wayne was going to say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I want to say thank you to all my fans out there for real, and I'm very grateful to have you guys and for everybody that's watching, and I'm just very grateful. What I was saying before was I didn't realize, but when stuff goes out on the radio, all of a sudden, people start coming up to you, and it's like what I told you. You're like, oh my goodness, this stuff is working, and by the grace of God, thank God in Jesus' name, amen.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, let's do this, Wayne, because we're almost about out of time. I want you to let all of our viewers know how they can keep following you and how they can actually have access to buying your music, and if you have websites you like to plug or whatever. Just if you could do that right now for us.
Okay, I mean, the best way these days to any artist, you could just put in my name, Wayne Gutshall, on Google, and when you pull it up, it'll just have all the different choices of where you could get the music. If you have Spotify or if you have iTunes. I'm still working on Pandora also, Joyce. I'm working on them, but other than that, I'm on every other platform for streaming. And so you could definitely get it there, and also I have a website called WayneGutshall.com. That'll keep you up to date, and I am going to post some of the concerts that I do have coming up, and God willing, this COVID thing will be over soon, and we'll get back to those jazz festivals.
Yeah. Awesome.
And give a shout out to your number one supporter, your wife.
Yeah. My wife's name is Myrna. Myrna, I love you. I know she's not watching right now. She said she's gonna watch it after, because I told her, you know how the computer is. If you have 2 or 3 different computers on, so we decided. He's reading a book right now or something in the other room.
Okay.
Thank you, Myrna.
Thank you, Myrna.
Oh, wait a minute. I just want to thank all of you, Gary, Joyce, Griselda, and Ray for being such nice hosts and everything. And if you ever need me back again, I'm here, or any way I can help you, you let me know. You guys, you're a blast. I knew I was going to have a fun time.
I'm just glad you feel comfortable. Not nervous.
Thank you.
Well, we really appreciate you definitely taking the time to come and hang out with us today. And we definitely enjoyed all of the music. The music is wonderful. And we definitely look forward to your upcoming stuff that you are working on. So be sure to keep us posted on that, and we definitely will have you back to talk about that. So awesome work, man. Awesome work.
Oh, can I do a little plugging more on that?
Yes, you can. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, check this out. The next CD, is going to have Paul Brown. It's the first CD I didn't have. My band, they're awesome. But the second CD is going to have some special guests. Going to have Paul Brown, guitarist Paul Brown, guitarist Mr. Steve Oliver. And Paul Brown's going to help out with engineering, Steve Oliver too. Miss Kim Scott on the flute. I didn't tell you, Miss Carol Albert, and also Rob Zinn, this fine trumpet player.
Oh yes, that's our friend Rob.
And also a nice gentleman, Mr. Carlos Alvarez. He's an 11-time Grammy winner. He's an engineer. He's gonna be doing some of the engineering, but and I just keep you posted on that. My other engineer, Ray Lyon, too, who's awesome. He's helping me out right now. So look forward for that CD. That'll be out at the beginning of next year.
All right, man.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Definitely looking forward to it, man. Definitely. Well, it's about time for us to retire for the week. We're definitely going to be back next week. But I just like to wish everybody a happy weekend. Enjoy the rest of it. And again, I want to thank Wayne for being such a great guest and coming on the show and sharing all of his great music and everything about him. And again, Wayne, thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you guys.
God bless you too. And with that said, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Ray and Joyce and Grizz, and they can finish up taking us out for this week show. And Grizz, of course, is going to let us know what's going on next week.
Yep.
Well, Wayne, I'm just, it's been our pleasure having you on the show this afternoon. And everyone, y'all need to be safe out there. And see you later. Bye.
Wayne, thanks for being on the show today. We're just honored all the way from Florida. Appreciate you being here, and I thought it was very special to acknowledge your niece Natalie. She's at UF. What did she say? UF Health in Jacksonville, practicing medicine on the front line. Again, thank you for your service. Thank you for being here, Wayne. We're looking forward to you coming back with that next project, though. So, hey.
And I want to hear some of your stuff too, Joyce. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. You better remember me, because I am coming. I mean, I'm calling you. I'll be reaching out, whether it's Facebook or what have you. And I'm looking forward to hearing your new stuff, because what I hear right now is just awesome. So.
Thank you so much.
All right, Gris.
All right. Thank you, Wayne. I'm so glad that we finally got you on the show, because I've been trying to get you on the show for quite some time. So I'm glad it finally happened.
Well, sorry it took that long, but it's been
That's okay. It was worth the wait.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth the wait. I'm just glad it finally came to fruition. Can't wait to have you back when you have your new CD out. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to thank everyone that tuned in for joining us today. Thank you so much for that. Please invite someone else. Bring a friend next week. Excuse me again, my voice is messed up. Sorry.
You're doing good.
Next week, we were supposed to have 2 people on, but we only have 1 because one had a medical emergency with family. So I'm going to have to reschedule that one. But next week, we have, and she's in the chat room, Castella. So I cannot wait to have her on the show.
Castella.
All right. She is awesome. She is so awesome. I can't wait for her.
Definitely
Those of
looking
you who
forward.
haven't heard of her, you're going to next week. So please join us next week.
Yeah, she has an awesome voice.
Everyone, I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to listen to her music.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to chat with her. So I'm excited about this. So everyone, be safe out there. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you next week. Okay?
All right, everybody.
Ciao.
All right, everybody. Have a great
Ciao.
weekend. We'll see you
Bye.
next week.
Yes. Wear your mask.
Yes. Be safe.
Purell.
So long, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Locally, want somebody, tell me what it is. Yo, crack it like that does not bend, but if you bend your mind, you just might find a friend.
Find a friend. What is color? What is race? Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my brother, for you. What is color? What is race? Sweet love. Would you like me better if we had the same face? My blood beats red, my heart beats true. With so much love, my sister, for you.
I believed in you. I thought you could do no wrong, until I saw one day that you were stringing me along, playing me for a fool. You used me once too much. I'm in so much pain. Here I am again. Trust is a hard thing to come by these days. You build me up to let me down, got me spinning around. I wish I knew where you were coming from. You told me you love me, I thought I was your only one. Seems like I'm always going through changes, living in confusion. Seems like I'm always going through changes, living in confusion, confusion. Oh, I had faith in you, just knew you wouldn't hurt me, but you played a game. You should be ashamed. And I let my guard down. I was so vulnerable. I hope you had your fun. Don't you know I was loyal to you? Truth is a hard thing